We're going to take a few minutes. We're done with our series on evangelism and missions, and so we're kind of doing standalone devotionals for the next couple of weeks here. And tonight we're looking at a Psalm of David, and this is a psalm that is partially a praise song and partially a nature psalm, and interesting elements in it. So I'm going to read it for us, and then we'll talk about it together for a few minutes. Psalm 65, for the choir director, a psalm of David, a song. There will be silence before you and praise in Zion, O God, and to you the vow will be performed. O you who hear prayer, to you all men come. Iniquities prevail against me. As for our transgressions, you forgive them. How blessed is the one whom you choose and bring near to you to dwell in your courts. We will be satisfied with the goodness of your house, your holy temple. By awesome deeds you answer us in righteousness, O God of our salvation. You who are the trust of all the ends of the earth and of the farthest sea, who establishes the mountains by his strength, being girded with might, who stills the roaring of the seas, the roaring of their waves, and the tumult of the peoples. They who dwell in the ends of the earth stand in awe of your signs. You make the dawn and the sunset shout for joy. You visit the earth and cause it to overflow. You greatly enrich it. The stream of God is full of water. You prepare their grain, for thus you prepare the earth. You water its furrows abundantly. You settle its ridges. You soften it with showers. You bless its growth. You have crowned the year with your bounty, and your paths drip with fatness. The pastures of the wilderness drip, and the hills gird themselves with rejoicing. The meadows are clothed with flocks, and the valleys are covered with grain. They shout for joy. Yes, they sing. What a great little psalm, and a lot of different elements in it. So in verse 1, what do you think David is talking about when he says there will be silence before you and praise in Zion? Why silence? Yeah. So there's a time for loud chatter and noise and like that. There's a time to be quiet. And I'm thinking of, I grew up in a home that practiced corporal punishment. I grew up in churches and schools that had certain orders and so on, and there's a time when you just get quiet because something is about to happen. Somebody walked in and they saw something going on, and now it's time to. So there's silence before the Lord. There's an awe. There's a reverence here, and to you the vow will be performed. So those who make a promise to God, David says, they're going to follow through on that. God is a God who hears prayer in verse 2. O you who hear prayer. That's one of our great blessings, isn't it? In the Christian life, we believe that God hears and answers prayer. We sometimes use a little phrase, prayer changes things. But you've heard me say before, I'd like to modify that. That's not entirely accurate. It's not as if the process of prayer itself changes anything. It's the God who answers prayer that changes things. And that's what David is talking about here. In verse 3, iniquities prevail against me. As for our transgressions, you forgive them. So he's probably talking about his own iniquities there in the first part. He's probably talking about his own sin nature. He is aware. I don't always do what I want to do. I sometimes blow it. I sin, and my sin piles up. And then here's a blessed truth in 3b. As for our transgressions, you forgive them. This calls to mind one of my favorite passages. Flip over, keep your finger here, but flip over to